Elijah, a man of God, he stood tall, he stood alone. The land of Israel suffered greatly. No rain had fallen from the sky for 3 long and weary years. The people of Israel, God's chosen, had forgotten him. They turned their hearts to Baal, a lifeless idol, a false god of wood and stone. Elijah carried a divine message, a fiery challenge for all to see. He would not back down from his holy task. He would confront the darkness. He faced King Ahab directly. Ahab, the wicked king, had led Israel astray. He faced the prophets of Baal, 450 of them, a formidable number. "How long will you go on limping?" Elijah's voice boomed to the crowd, limping between 2 different opinions, unable to choose. "If the Lord is truly God, then you must follow him. But if Baal is God, then you must follow him." The people stood silent. They watched, they waited. They did not know what to say. Elijah then laid out the plan. A clear test of God's. 2 bulls would be prepared, 2 altars of wood would be built, but no fire would be set by human hands. "You call on the name of your God," Elijah declared boldly. "And I will call on the name of the Lord, the God who answers by sending fire from heaven. He is God." The people listened intently to his words. They agreed to the terms. "What you say is good," they replied in unison. The stage was now set for a great contest. The prophets of Baal chose their bull first. They prepared it with great care and ceremony. They placed it upon their wooden altar. From early morning until the sun reached its midday peak, they prayed. "O Baal, hear us. O Baal, answer us." They cried out desperately. They leapt and danced wildly around their altar. They shouted with all their might, hoping for a sign, but there was no sound from above, no reply to their calls. No one answered their desperate, frantic pleas. Elijah watched their frantic efforts with patience. He waited as they grew tired and hoarse. As midday approached, he began to mock them gently. "Shout louder," he taunted the prophets of Baal. "Surely he is a god as you claim. Perhaps he is deep in thought, or maybe he is busy somewhere, or perhaps he is traveling on a long journey, or perhaps he is merely asleep and must be awakened." Hearing this, they shouted even louder. They cut themselves with knives and lances. Still, only silence answered them. Finally, it was Elijah's turn to act. He called the people towards him. "Come here to me," he said, his voice calm. He began to repair the Lord's altar, the altar that had been torn down by neglect. He carefully took 12 stones, 1 stone for each of the 12 tribes of Jacob. He built it strong and true, a symbol of unity. He then dug a wide trench all around it, a deep channel to hold much water. His movements were slow and deliberate. Then he arranged the wood neatly on the altar. He cut the bull into pieces for the offering. He laid the pieces carefully on the wood. "Fill 4 large jars with water," he commanded the people, "and pour it on the offering and on the wood." They did exactly as he said. "Do it again," Elijah instructed them. They poured more water, soaking everything. "Do it a 3rd time." They poured yet again. Water drenched the sacrifice. It filled the trench completely. Elijah stepped forward. He lifted his voice to heaven in prayer. A simple yet powerful prayer. "Lord, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel," he began, "let it be known today that you are God in Israel, and that I am your servant doing your will, and have done all these things at your command. Answer me, Lord, answer me, so these people will know." Suddenly fire, heavenly fire, flashed down from the sky. It consumed everything. The offering, the wood, the stones, the dust. It even licked up all the water in the trench. When all the people saw this awesome miracle, they fell prostrate on the hard ground. Awe and profound fear filled their hearts. "The Lord, he is God!" they cried out in unison. "The Lord, he is God!" Their voices echoed across the mountain slopes. It was a decisive victory for the Lord. God had shown his supreme and unmatched power. Elijah had stood firm in his faith. The false prophets of Baal were utterly defeated. Rain would soon come to bless the parched land. But this great triumph had a dark, looming shadow. Queen Jezebel, wicked Ahab's wife, learned what had happened. She was enraged beyond measure. Her fury knew no bounds against God's prophet. She sent a chilling message directly to Elijah, a terrible vow of certain death. "May the gods deal with me, be it ever so severely," she threatened, "if by this time tomorrow I do not make your life like that of one of them." Elijah, the brave prophet, was now terribly afraid for his life. He ran for his very life, far from Jezebel's reach. He journeyed deep into the untamed wilderness, a full day's exhausting travel under the hot sun. He finally stopped, his strength failing, exhausted and feeling utterly alone. He sat down under a solitary broom tree. Despair washed over him like a great dark flood. He prayed for death to come and end his suffering. "I have had enough, Lord," he whispered, his spirit broken. "Take my life. I am no better than my ancestors." He felt completely abandoned by all. He lay down under the meager shade of the tree. Sleep, a welcome escape, overtook his weary body. But God had not forgotten his faithful servant. An angel appeared quietly beside him. The angel gently touched him. "Get up and eat," the angel's soft voice said. Elijah slowly opened his tired eyes. He saw a cake of bread freshly baked on hot coals, and nearby a jar of cool, fresh water. He ate the sustaining food, he drank the refreshing water. Then he lay down once more, his spirits still low. The angel of the Lord returned. A second time the angel came. The angel touched Elijah gently once again. "Get up and eat," the voice urged him softly, "for the journey ahead is too much for you otherwise." So Elijah arose from his rest. He ate the heaven-sent food provided for him. He drank the life-giving water. Strengthened by this divine provision, he traveled onward. For 40 long days and 40 long nights he journeyed, until at last he reached Horeb, the sacred mountain of God, also known as Sinai. There he found a dark cave. He went inside to spend the night, alone in the deep darkness of the mountain. Then the word of the Lord came to him, a question piercing the heavy silence of the cave. "What are you doing here, Elijah?" God asked him. Elijah poured out his troubled and burdened heart, his deep loneliness, his overwhelming fear. "I've been very zealous for the Lord God Almighty," he explained. "But the Israelites have rejected your covenant. They have torn down your altars. They have killed your prophets with the sword. I am the only one left, and now they seek my life too." God then gave him a clear command. "Go out from the cave," he said, "and stand on the mountain in the presence of the Lord, for the Lord is about to pass by you." Then a mighty and powerful windstorm erupted. It tore at the ancient mountains with great force. It shattered the great rocks before the Lord, a terrifying display of raw, untamed power. But the Lord was not in the wind. After the fierce wind came a violent earthquake. The ground shook and trembled beneath Elijah's feet. But the Lord was not in the earthquake. After the terrifying earthquake, a raging fire swept through. Consuming and powerful, it lit up the mountainside. But the Lord was not in the fire, and after the fire there came a sound, a gentle whisper, a still, small, quiet voice. When Elijah heard it, he knew, he understood. He covered his face with his cloak in reverence. He went out from the cave. He stood at the entrance. God spoke to him again, not in thunder, but in quietness. Elijah listened. His fear began to fade away. His purpose was renewed. He was not alone. God was with him. His mission would continue.